On this week's segment of the Sister Sister Chat, coming to the couch to help us to adjust our crowns just a little bit, we have the one and only, the color of beautiful, Dr. Karen Moore.
Information is free. Read it, write it, count it, makes a difference for me. It's all around, everywhere. Open your eyes so you can see. Can you make it? Can you make it? Can you make it? I guess I can do it. Can you make it? Oh, can you make it? Can you make it? There's nothing in this world that can keep you from your purpose. No, nothing. What you set your mind to do. Your mind to do. Availability. Oh, yes, it is. In your reach and stretch. No one to blame for your excuse. No one to blame but you. Independence a creed. To have meets the need. Your call is your reason. Appointed for a time. Like to love you right. Feel just like the right season.
So, yes, we made it, and you can make it. Hi, everybody.
Good evening, good afternoon. Is it evening, afternoon, early evening? Hey.
Well, it may be where you are is morning. Where they're at, it may be afternoon. Where somebody else at is in evening. But in all three lanes, it's a hey. How y'all doing?
I'm good. I am just surfing through life right now. Just surfing.
You look surfing really good. You look surfing fabulous.
Yes.
And talking about looking surfing fabulous, yeah, I made a song. I made a word up. I sure did. But you know who's looking even beautiful and voluptuous and just all that in one big box over there in that corner? You see her? That corner over there?
I see a lot of queendom.
That corner. Over there.
I'll take it.
Going over there. That way. Yeah, that way. That lady right there. Do y'all know who that is? I don't think y'all know who that is. But let me introduce her. That is the one and only. She actually is known as the poet to the soul. That's Dr. Karen Moore of the Beautiful Ones, right? That's what's the name of the show? Let me get it right. Let me get it right. How did I say it? Let me get it right. Because you know I had to use the voice. Well, I went to introduce her. I was like, "Ooh, I got to use the voice." Yeah. It's Dr. Moore with us, y'all. It's Dr. Karen Moore. And we're just so honored to have you come back with us. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. It's so good to be here with both of you beautiful sisters.
Yes, and don't she just let you know that's what beautiful look like? That's what beauty look like right there. Right there.
Absolutely.
Yes, you have your whole glow going on over there. Your whole aura, your box is just glowing. The mother of all mothers today. Yes, the mother of beautiful. So thank you again.
To be here with you.
Yes, and we are so excited that she's here today because so everybody's like, okay, so who's Poetic Soul? So that's who she is. She's Miss Poetic Soul. Her and her husband has a group where He's the poet and she's the music. Some of y'all may remember when she was on a segment where I said the poet meets the music and they come together as one and become poetic soul. You had to use the voice for that too.
Yes, that's how you said it. That's how it is. Yeah. Poet comes together with the music.
I don't have to bottle that voice. What y'all think?
You want a big plastic bottle? You want a big glass bottle? What type of bottle?
I don't know. I mean, after all, Alexa, she has a voice. She's bottled.
Hey,
No, she's not in a bottle. She's in a tube, right? She's in a box. I think I deserve a bottle. What you say?
too. I think I deserve a bottle.
Yeah, I think we deserve a bottle.
Yeah, we're going to work on that.
So talking about your bottles, I hope y'all got y'all bottles today. I hope you got your pens. I hope you got your papers. I hope you got your cups. I hope you got your tissues. Look, we about to go into session because the doctor is in the house and she has a prescription that we definitely, as women and men looking at women, going to be needing. Trust me, best believe you me, because I'm telling you right now, I got my book together. I got my recording button on. I got this recording button and I got the recording button on, so I can write notes and stickies and like, oh no, right here. You're right there. No, right
all right.
there. Yeah.
I live up to that.
Oh, you going to? How long did we talk on the phone before you said yes? Yeah, we going in. So you got your book? You got your book? So before we go any further, without further ado, it would not be the show if I didn't introduce my lovely one. Hi, Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hello, beautiful.
How are you, beautiful? How are you today?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I am, like I said, I'm just kind of surfing through life right now. I'm enjoying life and all of its little nuances right now.
So
I'm sitting back and I'm kind of taking everything in.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So
I'm embracing life.
Good word. Good word. Real good word. Because in order for you to be able to receive the message that's going to come today, you're going to have to embrace it, because it's probably going to go against everything you ever thought. It's probably going to go against everything that you probably have been doing or was taught to do. So without that, we need to put our disclaimers out. You ready? So the disclaimer is this: my truth may not be your truth. Your truth is not my truth. What works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. So I'm not pushing it on you. We're going to treat it like a smorgasbord. So by we treat it like a smorgasbord, you want to eat it. You don't move on. Treat it like Golden Corral and go to the next tray. But if that don't work out for you, you can always do like Kim say.
Eat the meat, spit out the bone.
And without that, you have to have this. If you see Kim doing this, that means she's going to blow. You better let her go. So let the volcano go. So now that the disclaimers is out there, let the lesson begin. So y'all may be figuring, okay, so the doctor's in. Oh yeah, honey, the doctor is in. So if you don't want to stay sick, I suggest the prescription that she gives to you today, take this medicine. I'm going to say it again. This prescription that she's going to give to you today, take the medicine, because you can't do no good for your sickness if you don't take the medicine. So don't waste your time getting no medicine if you want to stay sick. Yeah.
Right. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to jump out myself for a minute. Can I jump out myself for a minute? Yeah, you're right. I get it. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. I just was talking the other day. Okay, I'm back. Look, I'm just trying to get y'all prepared. I'm trying to give y'all some time to get ready, because when I let Sister Doctor go, she's about to go. But I'm going to let her for me introduce herself, because, again, this is Dr. Karen Moore, and she is the color of beautiful. Yes. And today, she's going to tell us how women, when waiting, whatever that waiting may be, as women, how are you waiting? She about to tell us how we supposed to really wait.
So thank you again so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here. And I am Dr. Karen Moore. I am the founder of I Am the Color of Beautiful, Global Spoken Word Initiative and Movement. We are redefining the standard of beauty for women of color. And our focus is on eradicating colorism in communities of color. And just in case you may not know what colorism is the discrimination against darker skinned women in the sense that they're not put out there as being beautiful or valuable or worthy. And so we are in the fight against that mindset, that philosophy of thinking that darker skinned women are not beautiful and that they are not valuable or worthy. Many of the times that the images that we see are not typically, when you're talking about beauty, they're not typically of darker skinned women. So we are, like I say, we are really in the fight to make sure that that changes and that darker skinned women are looked at as beautiful. We are defining what our standard of beauty is. We're no longer allowing Hollywood or the media to define what the standard of beauty is for women of color. We are defining that ourselves. And so that's what the I Am the Color of Beautiful initiative is about. And we do it with spoken word, we do it with conversations, panel discussions, workshops. We do all of that in order to not only help women to overcome the hurt and trauma of colorism, but to begin to let the rest of the world see that we are also beautiful. So that's about the initiative. Now, women in waiting is a very interesting topic and discussion because many times as women we get impatient. We get impatient when it comes to finding a mate. We get impatient when it comes to walking the process of the journey that's been set before us. And so there are issues many times that come with writing. I know I wasn't the most patient person in the world. When I started taking care of my mom during the last few years of her life, I learned a lot of patience. I learned what it was to wait because, somebody that's in their 80s and 90s, they're just not hurrying for anything or anyone. So I learned a lot about developing patience and about waiting, being willing to wait for the best for my life and being willing to not settle for what was not absolutely the best for my life. So that's what it is about women in waiting. And I think that many times too, we live in a world that is in such a rush for everything. We are living in such a rush for absolutely everything to happen and take place immediately. And we forget about the journey. We forget about the process. We forget about those things that are necessary for us to be able to get to where we really are supposed to be, where God is leading us. It's all about process. And we've got to be willing to work the process. Process makes perfect, as one of my pastors says. Process makes perfect. So we've got to be willing to walk the process and be willing to tap into the power within us to endure that process and know that if we do the process, what comes out in the end will be exactly what God has for us and what we're actually really looking for.
Oh, you said something right there. Wait. Wait a minute.
Really, please, let me go. Please, I got it. Okay. So Shauna and I were just talking about process. And one of the things that I think most of us don't realize until it's brought to our attention is that our experience is a part of our process. So a lot of people don't even realize that, okay, I'm going through this right now and it doesn't feel good. I don't like, how this person is treating me. I don't like the fact that I have to wait. Whatever their experience is, they don't realize that that's a step or a level in being processed. And so the journey, no, not the journey, but the job for people who do understand that it is a process is being able to connect to those people who are still trying to figure it out, or bringing to people's attention that, hey, this is a part of your process. Like, you have to go through this in order to get to your end line. Like, it's a linear kind of thing that we go through. It's like pit stops in order to get to the end goal. So,
and sometimes it goes like this.
When I said that, I was like, but it can be kind of like that plot where it goes,
right,
like episodic, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
And if you're anything like me, you have to understand that it's not just the outline that Hallmark gives you. You got to understand that little sloop we talking about is called the commercial break. It don't happen in 30 minutes.
No, process. It could be a very long process. And a lot of it also comes from what we're willing to accept about ourselves as we're going through it. Because sometimes process is meant to fix something in us that needs to be fixed. And so many of us, many times, we don't think that anything needs to be fixed. We think other people need to be fixed. We don't need to be fixed. So we have to also understand that many times this process is about fixing something within us, even if it's the fact that we're too impatient. The process is about fixing what is in you, and we have to sometimes really take stock of what is this experience, what is this process trying to teach me about me, and not about somebody else, because we're always looking at it's always somebody else, but we have to look at, okay, where do I fall in this whole process? What do I need to learn? What needs to change about me? And maybe it might be nothing, but most of the time there's something within us that needs to be changed while we're going through this particular process. And we've got to be willing to take the journey within the process to discover what that is. And if we're not looking inward, if we're always looking outward and ready to talk about what everybody else's issues are and everything else, and we're not taking the time to look inward, then we are not really taking that journey, that experience, that process. And many times that's why some of us, the process lasts so long, because we're not getting what it is we're supposed to get while we're going through this. And we're so busy looking at what everybody else has done. And this person did this, and this person did that, and this person did this. And, everything's wrong with everybody else but us. So part of that process is being, I don't know if I want to really use the word mature enough, but being aware enough, present enough to understand that we've got to look at ourselves too as we go through this process.
So, what brings us to this process? Well, Sister Dr. Karen Moore said she called her friend at the time, wasn't husband.
Yeah.
Friend at the time asked for her phone number. She gave him the number, and he said, I'm going to call you. Or she called him.
Right.
However it happened, she called him and he said, I'll call you right back. The call back came a year later. Okay. Now, before anybody be like, oh, we talk about relationships. No, we're not only just talking about a relationship, so I need you to understand. Follow us, because we're going to always tie the bow really nice and present this present to you, not only to you, but to us too. Okay? Okay. Because as I said, you may be waiting, but you don't know what you're waiting on. But you're waiting, but this is a process. So we're going to talk about the first process.
Can I throw something in there too, really quick? I feel like this is a process that we're all going through right now.
Yes.
And I know that we're going to get some really good nuggets, and it's going to help us to kind of elevate personally and our personal lives and mentally, spiritually, whatever it may be. But people have to realize that in their process or in going through the process, you will have things that will irritate you. There will be irritants. And I have an irritant right now in my face. There is a mosquito in here that has bit me twice. So when I looked like I was kind of boxing and going crazy, that's what it was. So I apologize in advance if I swatch. But that's my irritation in the process of getting what I'm going to receive on tonight. So,
and some irritations have to be killed. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Or in other words, kill it, Kim.
Which is why I look like I'm in Antarctica somewhere. So
No, you look like you about to go run up the art museum steps.
People.
You look like you about to run up the art museum steps.
Not people. Not people.
Okay, sidebar. So sorry.
All right, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna get back to a very serious moment. The phone call came a year later, and then it didn't even come. It came back with, "Can I get your number?"
Yeah.
So Shauna would have been like, "You had my number last year. What, you changed your phone number? You changed your phone? What happened? You should have called me back last year." Doing my Jill Scott 20. Okay, somebody gonna get that. But anyway, that's not what you did. So you gave him the phone number, but there was a whole year in between. So you were this woman waiting. So when did the wait begin? What did you do? And when did you notice that the waiting was not waiting on him, but waiting with you as woman?
Well, I would say the waiting began pretty much immediately because I called him and he said he was busy and he would call me back. Well, I was like, "Oh, you're busy." I had to admit, we'll be married 15 years, October 8th. This was 15 years ago. Okay. 15 years ago. I was like, "Oh, you don't have time for me? Okay. I'm not even gonna deal with it. You don't have time for me? Well, fine." So for me, the wait began immediately. And one of the things that I feel was really important for me during that time was that it was a time when I had to work on me. And many times, we don't want to be what we'll call alone. We don't want to be without a partner, or, we don't want to be alone. But many times, many of us need that. We need that time that we are just working on us, that we are looking at the power within us. We are tapping into our own power, finding ourselves and what we want, knowing ourselves and knowing what's going to work for us and what is not going to work for us. And I think that when you really spend the time with yourself and you look inwardly and you decide that, okay, this is who I am, because, at this point I was in my mid 40s. Yeah, I was in my mid 40s when we met. So I say that women over 40 just pretty much, all that cute stuff, we're not about the cute stuff when you get over 40. I think that women over 40, we're in a different place in the sense that, oh, he's so cute and the little cute things he might do. When you're over 40, it's not about the cute stuff anymore. certain things are going to be important for you as a woman, because typically I would say that most women, not all women, most women over 40 have come to a certain maturity in their lives. And so for them, there are other things that are more important than him just being cute. So I think that you have to be really mindful of what it is, of who you are. You have to know who you are, and you have to know what it is that you want for your life. And that you get so clear with that. You get so clear with it that when someone comes into your life, you are able to, because, after 40, you don't have time to waste. When you're 25 or whatever, and if it doesn't work, you might be like, okay, but when you get over 40, it's not a whole lot of, you don't have a whole lot of time to be playing around. So but you still have to be clear on who you are. You have to be clear on exactly what it is you want. And you've got to be willing to not settle for less than what it is that you really want. And it's not always all about money. Providing is important. Being able to provide is important. But there are other things that are important. I know for my husband and I, the things that are important in our relationship are things like he's a very big supporter of everything that I do. And that's important to me. I don't need someone who's not going to be able to support my dreams and my desires and my hopes and what I want to do as a woman, as the woman that I've become. I need somebody that's going to grow with me, somebody that's going to appreciate what I have, my talents and my skills, and be able to support the things that I want to do. So, but I had to be very clear with who I was, and that was important to me. So you've got to take the time. I spent that year getting to really know who Karen was, getting to know what Karen wanted, getting to know what was important to Karen. And you don't get that unless you really spend time with yourself. You cannot be afraid to be alone. You cannot listen, I went to dinner either with my sister, or sometimes I go to dinner by myself. It's okay to go to dinner by yourself. It's okay to go to a movie by yourself. This whole time of exploration and really understanding who you are as a woman and what your desires are, so that when that person comes along, if you're looking for it, you have to really trust God to bring the right one. But in the meantime, if that's what you're really looking for, if that's what you really desire in your life, is to be married, is to have a partner, a husband and a partner, then you've got to know who you are. Because, when companies merge, they investigate and know who the company is that they're getting ready to merge with. They know who they are as a company. They investigate who the other company is to determine if that merger is going to be the best that it can be for both of them. So we have to do the same thing with our lives as women.
Well, y'all, I told you she was coming and she was bringing it. Y'all just didn't believe me. And
okay, there's so much that's there. Like when let's just say two people meet. They first meet, it's surface, because you don't know each other. You know absolutely nothing about the other person, except for the fact that you've either been stimulated visually or mentally, right? So then the next phase is so conversation happens. Now you're starting to spend time with each other. I think a lot of times people create these fallacies because you want to keep intriguing the other person per se. It's almost like playing a game. Whereas like you give only if they give. You share only if they share. But if no one steps up and starts to share the truths about who they are, what they desire, what their desires and passions are, and things of that nature, what type of future they want for themselves and things of that nature, those conversations don't open up. And so what you're left with a lot of times are people who are coming from their own individual path, having their own experiences and expectations of what a relationship should be like and what they're not going to accept from an individual. So anything that's remotely familiar to what used to be, they just pick up and they run. That cuts conversation. It's like, nope. And what they don't realize is that we're all evolutionary. So we're always changing. We're always growing. We're always becoming. And I think we really give ourselves and each other, we do ourselves and each other a disservice by not taking the time to get to know the person.
Mhm.
And we run into those roadblocks, you know, and it's a little frustrating when you go through it. But when you're finally aware of the fact that, okay, you know what? If you're single, I need to spend time by myself. I'm going to treat myself to dinner. I'm going to get to know who I am. I'm going to get to know those things that I desire. What do I want to accomplish? You know, what things will prohibit me from moving forward and accomplishing what I accomplish and things of that nature. Those things are very important because if you don't know who you are and then you meet somebody who knows who they are, you may desire to be with that person, but they might look at you as not a good fit.
And that's why it's so important, like she said at the beginning, you have to know you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it comes with, this is what I've been taught, or this is what I saw, or this is how it happened. You know, what had happened was, or, you know, this is what so-and-so did. And then sometimes predicaments puts us in those situations that rolls us into the situation of, now we're in a committed situation, now we're in a relationship, but at that time of us doing something ahead of the gun, we find ourselves being worse off than we was together. Or we found out that no, we're not the perfect match. Or we found that's when the hurt game come in at, where they say, oh, you wasn't who I thought you was. Well, you didn't know me. I didn't know you. And we didn't get the chance to know each other. But
Right.
the biggest part is you didn't even know you.
Right. Right.
And we don't know us. We only know what people tell you of us. But it's when you have that moment of you by yourself,
Right.
to get to know you, that's the only time. Because even with being said, so with my sister, my dad used to take my sister and my cousin Keisha out to dinner. And they used to dress up and go out to dinner. He used to date them. And when he would date them, that was a saying, this is your model of what the dates were.
Mhm.
But that meant that every person that dated them had to equal up to him. Because in their mind, this is the mold. This is how it goes. This is what it does. No, you don't take me to McDonald's. And my daddy ain't taking me to McDonald's. No, you're not taking me to Wendy's for a 4 for $4. My dad took me at that time to Seafood Shanty.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So with that mold, it was a help, but it also was a hinder because you met that guy who couldn't do that. So he was automatically checked off. But you never got to know what a date was for you. It was a little profile that was going out where they said, would you go out if this was dinner? And it was a picnic basket on the beach in the sand. And I guess in the sandwiches was probably peanut butter and jelly and maybe some orange juice and a candle. Would you accept that as a first date? I sure would. And somebody probably gonna sit right now like, you lying? Nope. I'm sure. I'm sure you are. But I don't need all that. I'm the girl that had the box of popcorn from the Poppy store and had the Frank soda with 2 straws. And we sat on the park bench and watched the moon go up and down and had the most intimate night of my life. That's the date I remember. And somebody got to be able to compare to that because you can go and spend $3,000 on me on dinner. And that means because you paid for it, you got the hotel, you got the car, we left the state, we got the plane, we did the whole 9-9. We came home, we had an intimate day, but it had no emotions and no feelings.
Mhm.
Which day do you keep? The money or the intimacy? I take intimacy all day. I don't care if it's a 4 for 4.
Right.
You get 4 nuggets, I get 4 nuggets. Did we eat? We ate together. We may even twirl our arms together and I feed you, you feed me. I'm just I'm just saying. But that's what it comes from, you knowing you and not what somebody says is you.
Right.
That's a big difference. And I had to learn that. Like it took for me to come to a breakup that was detrimental to my life, that made me realize that I was behind it. I didn't sabotage it, but majority of the percentage of it was my fault because I allowed it.
Mhm.
Because I didn't know my worth and I didn't treat my worth valuable. I was more concerned about their worth, not recognizing mine and thinking that I was holding them responsible for my worth. And then when they didn't give it to me, I was like, well, I'm taking my stuff and I'm out. No, keep the stuff. I'm going to go. Because when I gave it to you, that wasn't the intent. I gave it to you to give to you, not for the intent of me taking it back and now saying I'm holding it as leverage over your head. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Even if intentionally you knew you wasn't staying and you took it, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But again, that comes with you saying you have to know you. So the question is, how do you get to know you? Because there's some people that they can't be alone. They don't know how to date themselves. Like you said, you go dinner by yourself. Some people think everybody looking at me. I'm all at the table by myself. They probably wondering, did I get stood up? They probably wondering if the guy going to show up. So I'm looking at the door and everybody turning around looking at the door for me. Everybody feeling sorry for me. People sending drinks to my table. And I'm like, you know?
You know the problem? I think one of the problems though with that, and it's not like
wait a minute, time out. Did you see how she popped?
Because I'm here. I'm just really, I got to get this out. Like, society puts that stigma on singleness.
Yes.
I remember when I used to, and I still take myself out to restaurants and stuff when I feel like it. But in the beginning, it was as soon as you walk in, hi, table for 2.
Yes.
And it's like, no, it's just me. Oh, really? Oh, well, good for you. And it's like that happened. Right. It's like, what's wrong with going to eat? All you're doing is eating. But the mindset is that the expectation is that in order to do something fun or romantic, you have to be with another person. You can romanticize yourself. You can love on yourself
all day.
And so it starts with society. And I know we're going to touch more on that when we get on the whole colorism topic. Whoo! Because that's probably a whole nother show within itself. But
yeah.
Because that goes deep, like whiteness deep. So yeah. I just think it starts with society. Even how we're taught, like as a young girl, we're groomed to wait for that knight in shining armor. And we see all these images on television that suggest that in order to be happy, you need to get married. So we grow up waiting and desiring that because that's how our society has pinned relationships or happiness or being content. And it's like, really, like then there's so many people. Oh, there it goes again. There's so many people, like I'm going to use my mom, for example. My mom has been single. She's been engaged. She's been married. She's been divorced. she's been engaged again, and now she's single again. And her thing is, look, I'm good. Like, I'm okay where I am. And it's almost like we're forced to try to make things work or to be a certain way. You know, we force relationships. We do it with our children. We tell them, go on and play with somebody. Go on outside. Well, what if they don't feel like being bothered with anybody else in that moment? What if they just want to sit there and play with their toys and their video games? They're fine with that. But we push this, you know, engaging other people and the need. And I know we're relational people. However, there's a balance to that. And I just don't feel like we should be forced.
But talking about force,
I don't think people should be forced either. I think that it's important that we still understand that we have to be willing to step up and say, this is how it is for me. This is what I want right now. And this is how I'm going to be. And I'm happy with it. And that, you know, I'm not going to necessarily connect myself to someone just because people feel like I should be connected. You know, some people never get married, and that's okay. That's not what they want for their lives. So I think it's so important that we understand ourselves and that, you know, hey, I'm good by myself. You know, it's amazing because even for myself, I am a personable person. I think my husband sometimes disagrees with that, but I am a personable person. I like people when I want to be around people. I like people. But, you know, even with this whole pandemic, I'm good being home. You know, I'm just one of these people, listen, I'm good being home. I don't have to be out and about around a whole lot of people. Yet there are other people who that's a part of who they are, to always be around people and be around other people. But you have to be comfortable with who you are, wherever you are in your space in life. When it comes to when I'm around people, great. That's the Karen that enjoys people, that enjoys being around people. Then there's the Karen that really is really okay just being home, being cool. That's, you know, and whichever part of me has to show up in whatever instance, I'm comfortable with myself if I'm home. If I'm home alone, I'm comfortable. If I go out by myself and I'm comfortable. So the place that we have to come is being comfortable with ourselves and not worrying about what anybody else thinks or what other people think we should be doing. And you know, when you go to the restaurant and they talk about table for two, it's like, no, it's just me and my beautiful self. Okay. You know, sometimes we've got to
one better.
No, look, no, it's just me and my beautiful self. I'm having dinner with me and my beautiful self. Okay. Thank you, Sean.
That is two people. Me and my beautiful self. Three. It's me, myself, and I. Bring me 3 glasses, please. Thank you very much. Tell the DJ, keep the music coming and keep the waitress bringing the drinks. Thank you very much. All right.
But I think people also always think that women have to be connected to somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we have to be with a woman or with a girlfriend, or we have to be with a man. We can't just show up ourselves, being our own fantastic selves. People are always trying to connect us to someone, and sometimes we're not connected. We're not in that connected space right now. I'm just coming as me, and here I am. And I know I'm not with my best girlfriend. I'm not with my sister. I'm not with my husband. It's just Karen. Here I am. I've come this way, and this is who I am, and I'm coming to have dinner, and that's the end of that.
And you know what? Another thing, ladies, and talk about the ladies. We're gonna address you ladies too, because our sister chat, we see you babies, we see you sisters. They are all in. They're watching. They're tuned in. Again, for all of you coming through, we have Dr. Karen Moore in, and she's talking to us women and waiting, whatever waiting may be for you. And right now, we're talking about waiting in a relationship. And whether the relationship is relationship with self, relationship with a man, or relationship with other people. But some of our sisters are even posting a post, and I'm going to get to that post. So I have it up on the screen. But before I address that comment, you know, you said something. You said settle, and we have to understand that when it's settling, that's a big topic for us too, because we have to understand what we settle. Understand that sometimes we are settling, and that's what we're doing. Whether we do it directly or indirectly, we're settling because we're like, because I can't get this, I'm going to go with this. Well, oh well, if I'm going to be single, then I might as well settle and be single. But you don't have to be. Some settlements are good settlements. I mean, look at the settlement of a house. That's a good thing. So it depends on what you're settling for to be in a situation, or if it's considered a bad thing or a good thing. But again, that comes within knowing you. And just because a sister wants to be by herself and she don't want to tell you what she's doing, where she going, where she going, or how she going, it doesn't mean she beefing. And you don't need to be so nosy to want to know. Yes, I know you care, but sometimes you got to give people their space to let them be them by themselves. Yes. Or maybe they're going through something and they need to be by themselves, or they just want to be by themselves because they always with somebody. And you're going to get to that point in your life. Trust me when I tell you, we're all going to have that moment, man or woman, boy or girl, child or adult, or even grand. You're going to want to be by yourself. And it's not always because you're mad. You just want to be by yourself. And give people that space. Don't be like, girl, she stopped talking to me. I don't know. But she don't call me. I ain't calling her. Don't do that. Okay, now that that got out there, so it's already displayed on the screen, and yeah, I'm squinting because I don't have my glasses, and Kim not here to read it.
Let me stick mine on.
I just sent for my glasses. I'm hoping that they heard me when I said I need my glasses.
I'm here.
Go ahead. What did they say on the screen?
You have to know as a woman and have those conversations before you give the title of boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah. And you have to be honest. You have to be honest. One of the things that I think sometimes is we don't want to really truly be honest. Because I know with my husband, I asked him certain questions because I was like, I need to know. I asked him, do you have any addictions? Because I was married to somebody who had an addiction. So I said to him, I need to know if you have any addictions, and you need to tell me the truth right now. Because if you have any addictions, it was a no thing for me. Now, some people might have been, okay, well, no, for me, I'm speaking strictly for me, it was a no thing. I said, do you have any addictions? I needed to know some, and I had some other questions that I asked. And one of the things I'll never forget, Reverend Melvin Floyd, who passed not too long ago, who was an amazing man, always said, that when he would stand and he would put one of his legs far out, and he would say, when you start to deal with people and get in relationships, they put their best foot forward, but eventually after a period of time that foot starts to come back because they can't keep standing like that. Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to put the time in, and you have to be willing to have the necessary conversations. I told my husband, but again, see, I was in my 40s. I was in a different place in life. I told my husband, I said, listen, if you are looking for a woman who's going to cook every night, I'm not your girl. Because if we're both working, for me, this is me. If we're both working and, you get home before me, somebody need to start some dinner, whoever gets home first. Okay. Again, that was me. I'm not saying you need to do that.
That's her truth.
Okay, I was being honest. And I had girlfriends who said, oh, girl, you don't never tell a man you're not going to cook. Why not? He need to know. He needs to know that if he's looking for a woman who is going to come home from work after we both have worked all day long, and he's going to come home and get home before me and sit down and wait till I get home to come and start fixing dinner, that's not going to work for me. So I had to be honest. I was at a place in my life where I was going to be very honest about what was going to happen. We were dating. He came over to the apartment and he said something about kitchen floor. I took him over to the closet. I said, there's the mop, there's the broom. If you see something that needs to be handled, my brother, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't born just because I have a womb. I wasn't born with a mop and broom in my hand. That's not for every woman. I'm just saying for me. There were things that he let me know. My husband straight up let me know, you can be mad as you want to be. I am not sleeping on the couch. I'm just telling you right now, you just have to be mad in the bed because I am not sleeping on the couch. There were certain things that we said so that each other knew exactly what it was, the things that were important that we were going to do or not do. And so we had that conversation openly and honestly about the things that we were really, I mean, there's many things you have to compromise on. I'm not saying that everything is, hard, but he let me straight up know. And it'll be almost 15 years and he has never slept on the couch because he was very serious about it. And I would be hot, mad, steaming. And he was right in bed. Steam all you want, girlfriend, because I am not sleeping on the couch.
You know what? I got to say, I remember having a conversation with a gentleman about that. And they was like, their thing was, are you going to punish me when you're mad at me? And I'm like, why do we do that, women? Like, that is so petty. Like, I mean, look, I know there's some women that do that. I just happen to be, all right, so I'm giving you a TMI moment. I just happen to be one of them women. I can't do that. I can't, because I'm hurting myself. That's all I'm going to say. When I'm punishing you, I'm hurting me. So, because
yeah, see, I'm one of them girls. I cannot talk to you for a week. My husband hates it. He says to me, I mean, I've gotten much better, but he would say to me, how long are you going to be mad? I just need to know how long you're going to be mad.
Oh, yeah, I won't speak to you.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm just not talking to you. And I could go for a week.
I had the same conversation. I was talking to my son Jared today, and I think I cut you off. I'm sorry. Did I cut you off?
No.
Okay. So I was talking to my son today, and we was laughing because we was having our little conversation that we have about music and the message in the music. And it just so happened we was talking about Neo. When you're mad, you look so cute when you're mad. And it's like sometimes some guys intentionally get you upset because it turns them on and they think you're so cute when you're mad. I'm like, I don't find it cute. They say we just want to make love to you, just love you and kiss all over you when you're so mad because you just look so cute. I said, okay, I'll kiss back and love back on you too, but best believe you me, when I'm done, you're gonna know I'm still mad at you. But I'm gonna tell you I'm mad at you. You're gonna know if I'm mad at you. Anybody on this panel and anybody in this chat room, even YouTube, can attest. If Shauna is mad at you, best believe you will know. Go ahead, Kim. Kim know, right?
I thought the potential mosquito bite.
Oh, Lord. Look, we're going to pray for the mosquito, okay, y'all? That's what we're going to do. So, but yeah, and yeah, ladies, this is a great topic because when she came on the show with her husband, who is Poetic Soul, and I got to play your song, right? I got to play it. I gotta play it. If I don't play it, it won't be right. If y'all think my voice is seductive, if you think my voice gets people in trouble, hi, John, come to me. I see why her husband came, because she said, come to me. And it was like he was mesmerized. It was like he just floated across the floor.
Yes.
You must teach us that power.
In you. It's in you.
But again,
it's in you.
I taught her.
But again, it's like you said, be careful, because what you may want may not want you, and you're forcing something and then you wonder why it don't go through. So just be careful and knowing and accepting that. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I really wanted to walk away with women is, if it doesn't go your way, it's okay, because it wasn't supposed to be. That's not where you were supposed to be. So when that happens, don't get mad. Take it as a blessing and go find the one that is supposed to be okay with.
That's key. That's key.
The first one, child, he ain't gonna do her like, it ain't mine, it wasn't mine. I ain't gonna lie, I was one too. Yeah, I was a good wife. I sure was a good wife, but his wife is out there because it's not me. Ain't me. It was me for them years, but it wasn't me because that wasn't my story. It was my story for the moment. Understanding your stories for the moment, because that Shauna is not this Shauna today. And I'm so glad for that, Shauna, because now I could talk to this Shauna today and talk about where I am now, and glad that I'm not that Shauna. That Shauna was naive, crazy, gullible, clingy. I was never selfish. I was always giving.
Right.
That's what I was, because I didn't know no better. I didn't have that conversation. I didn't have that go-to person.
Right.
I had what I had, which was in front of me, either if it was the TV or if it was the girlfriends.
Right.
He opened up the door for me and I got excited. He opened the door. He was supposed to. Oh, he was? Well, my husband ain't never opened the door for me. He was supposed to. Well, maybe where he grew up, that's not what they did. That's not how they were. That's why you got to know who you know. Fill out the applications, ladies. Take an application on that man. I'm trying to tell you the full application. If you get no quick interview, he walked in the door and say, "You're hired." You better do a background check.
Right. And if you want the door open for you, then sometimes you got to tell them, because I think that when men deal with different women, lots of times they don't know. Men don't always know. We have to tell them a lot of things.
Yes.
We have to tell them a lot of things. And if you are a woman who wants the door open for you and he's not doing that for you, then you need to say, I would really appreciate it if you would open the door for me. If you would open the car door for me. But you have to know that that's what you want. You have to be comfortable with that. And you have to be willing to make it known. Sometimes we expect things of people, like you said, that maybe they're not used to doing. And if we ever tell them, they don't ever know. And then we say, well, they weren't this or they weren't that. But if we don't tell them what we want, sometimes men have to be told. I mean, that's just truth, because they don't, it depends on what their experience has been. There are some women who, they don't want you opening up the door for them. I can get out the car by myself. I've heard women say it. Whereas there are other women who are like, I need you to come around here and open up the door.
I think we're afraid to be confrontational.
Huh?
I said, but most people in the beginning are afraid to be confrontational. They don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. They don't want to, like, if they feel like somebody's trying to do good, they don't speak up and say, well, that's not really what I like. That's really not my thing. Or I prefer, this, instead of that. I know most people feel more comfortable, and I'm taking it to another level of relationship, but with intimacy or having sex. Those times are the times I think where people are more inclined to say, hey, you know what? I don't like that. Or this is what I want. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to hurting somebody's feelings and just accepting what somebody is doing just because, we stifle ourselves, we stifle those people, and it's being fake. It's not, you're not walking in your truth.
Right.
And the fact that you're not walking in your truth, you're not going to allow that person to walk in their truth. So you got these two people. This person thinks that it's one thing, but over here is really not what they think it is. And then that's when we clash. Mm-hmm. But if you would just open up and talk and confront those things that bother you, don't make you feel good, you don't like, whatever it may be. Hey, I don't like what bothers me, like, and I know this is you and this is what you do, but I don't like when you smack when you eat. It irritates me. So, and then the other person, I'd be like, I didn't realize I did that. Certain things you can kind of you kind of work through, but as long as you address them.
That's why you have the meet and greet. Because if you don't have the meet and greet during the conversation and
Right.
you don't get a chance to meet and greet who the person really is, that's why my post said the other day, don't be afraid to show who you really are because of what you want. Because what end up happening is you'll get what you want, and then you get with them, and then all of a sudden you want to talk about all these little different things and you wonder why it didn't work out. That's because you didn't tell me at the beginning because you were scared you wasn't going to get me. But had you had the conversation, come on. Like you,
If you're not going to have the conversation, you can't hold it against them.
you sure can.
You can't say, oh, well, you know, he wasn't this and he wasn't that and he wasn't the other. Did you ever tell him what you wanted? Did you ever tell him what you expected of him or what I think that's another thing that many times happens, especially with marriage, that if you don't ever talk about what your expectation is in the marriage, one person has one idea of what marriage is, somebody else, the other person has another idea of what marriage is. And if you haven't talked about it before you get married, then you come into this marriage with these expectations that no one's talked about. You know, you talk about, oh, I'm in love. Oh, I love him. I love her. And la, la, la. And you don't even, sometimes your same idea of what love isn't even the same. And one thing I always say to people before they get married, you have to understand that person, I think people think that there's some osmosis that happens at the altar and that the person that you're marrying is now going to become your dream man, and that all the things that you wanted Prince Charming to do, this is what he's going to do. As soon as he says, I do, this osmosis takes place. Same thing for him. This wife that you dreamed of, whatever it is your dream of is the wife, osmosis happens at the altar, and it does not. Who that person was before you got to the altar is who they're going to be after you say, I do. I tell young ladies, I say, if he don't pick up his clothes before you get married, he's not picking up his clothes because he said, I do. Okay? If he doesn't work before you get married, he may not work after you get married. If you marry him jobless, baby girl, understand. Now, maybe he will. I'm not saying, but you just understand that right now he's not working. You better be praying really hard that something's going to happen. But understand that person that you got, that you're going to the altar with, every good, bad, and ugly thing is who you're marrying. Marriage does not, saying I do does not change that person. It does not. Now, maybe down the road as years happen, but you got to be willing. Those things that you know, those red flags, as Dr. Clarence Walker used to say, those red flags that come up, mama don't like him, daddy don't like him, even the dog don't like him. There's some red flags, girlfriend. Okay.
Wait, you said the dog?
I'm saying.
You know what? But you're right. Wait. I got to stop, y'all. I got to share a moment. I should have known there was a red flag when I came in the house and the dog felt the need to protect me from the owner.
Oh.
Every time I came over, the dog would come and stand by me. No matter where I was.
Wow.
And whenever the owner got close, it would growl. And it was like, let me find out my dog got a crush on you. But it wasn't that. That dog felt the need to protect me. Because anybody and everybody else could come around, but the minute they would get too close, it was like animals can sense a change in the atmosphere. Because remember, it's the animals that run away first before a storm comes. And that's how people know how close the storm is, because the animals react.
Right.
And this dog, I declare, I used to wonder, like, and whenever we would get like in a little confrontational moment, the dog would come and sit beside me and be like, I'm like, you know, I'm like, even the dog agreed with me. But I never took it as a flag because of the settlement. Oh, this is what I want. You know, oh, I can get over this flaw, or I can get past this flaw, or this flaw is going to change. But if a person don't feel that their change is for the betterment of themselves, they're not going to change for you. Steve Harvey said He has to be willing to change. And that's when he's going to change. Because if you're not the one, he ain't changing. He going to make you respond to the same way with everybody else. Now, people going to say Steve Harvey's doing it. Yeah, Steve Harvey. Some people do have some good stuff. You don't kill the message all the time, because sometimes they got some good stuff. I learned some good stuff today by finally listening to Jennifer Hudson, Think Like a Woman, Act Like a Man, with her and Neo. I sat down and literally, well, I wasn't sitting down, I was driving, and I literally listened to the words, and I was like, at first I was like, okay, I don't understand what she's saying, so I needed an interpreter, and they were telling me with the words that she was saying when she was saying it. And then after I really got down, it's like really started concentrating, I was able to match out the volume of the music and hear really what she was saying. And what she was saying was true. With us women, we tend to don't understand the difference between when we're in a love relationship. And that's why half the time our relationship goes the wrong way, because we're doing it and we're looking at it. But again, that's a whole nother segment. Knowing the difference between the L's.
Yeah, and I always think that too. I always tell people, whether you choose to do their traditional marriage vows or not, you should read them, because when it says for better or for worse, a lot of times you don't know what worse is or when it's going to show up. Okay?
You ain't never lied.
Or in health, you don't know when sickness is going to show up. I mean, you're supposed to love this person to the point where you will walk through sickness with them. You will walk through. It says for better, for richer or for poor. It doesn't matter whether you have a penny or $1 million. I'm still going to be here. I'm going to walk this journey with you. That's what marriage and love really is. And if you
say it again. I need you to do an Ace Ventura moment. Wait a minute. I need you to do Ace Ventura. You ready? Say it again.
That's what marriage really is following that for better or for worse, not knowing what worse is or when it shows up, because sometimes you can marry somebody who then after marriage becomes addicted to something. You have to sit, and that can be a worse thing. And if you have to decide, when you take on that vow, if you're really going to live that vow, that means that you're going to stay till death do us part. So that means that for better or for worse, whatever worse is, it shows up. I love you so much. I'm staying here with you through the journey, in sickness and in health. No matter what sickness comes up, I'm staying here with you through the journey. For richer or for poor, whether you have a dime or $1 million, I'm staying here with you through the journey. That's what real love is. And it's not, many times, especially, I'm going to say this, many times, especially as Christian women, we feel a need to hurry up and get married because we're hot and we need to, we want to have sex. So we think, and we believe that the only, and truly biblically, the only place for sex is in marriage. So you've got to be willing to wait and make sure that when you are going into this relationship that you're saying is marriage is not for, people who, just want to be fly by night. That's not what marriage really is biblically, the way God intended it to be. It's supposed to be till death do you part. So you have to make sure with this person, listen, this is not my first marriage I'm in right now. And it was not till death do us part. I had to deal with God with that. But, it's supposed to be till death do us part. So this has to be a person that you are willing to go the distance with till death do us part. Perfectly, it won't be you killed him or he killed you, but it's supposed to be that fellowship. It's supposed to be till death do us part, which means I'm willing to walk this whole journey with you, regardless of what comes up, till death do us part. So I have such an admiration for people who are 30 and 40 and 50 and 60 years into a marriage, because you made the decision that it was going to be till death do us part. And I'm going the length of this journey with you. Whatever comes up, I am here. We are doing this together. That's what marriage is.
Okay, so we got to address this, and whew, yes, understand what that means when you say I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it. I'm here because yes, there's some people that's going to say it, and then when they say I do, that's when the masks come on, and the men run that way, and the women run the other way because the real people show up
You
because
know,
they
mm,
because they had something that was going on that they were seeing because they had an agenda. The ring. We're going to do a segment on the ring. But it was stated that yes, men, it's easier for them to walk away now than to stay and work it out. It may be because they don't know how to work it out, but I'm gonna hold that question there because I have to state the next one because I wanted to address both of them. And please keep the questions coming. And if y'all want us to open up the phone lines so you can actually say something or question, please write in the comments, open the lines, and I will open up the lines so we can talk. The other statement was, um, the real question is, what are you getting married for? Good question.
Good question.
But Kim, you was going to say something?
yeah, because this is bothering me a little bit, and I think
Uh-oh.
because we're dealing with different things. We brought religion into it. We brought Christianity, a person's faith, into it, and we know that the Bible says, that it's a beautiful thing. And I know I'm paraphrasing the crap out of this, but it's a beautiful thing when two people come together. And we want to live up to that. We want that experience because it's a biblical experience of Christ's love for the church. Like we all get that, we all understand it. And one thing that Dr. Karen said was it's like our loins are burning with desire. And we just want to so I don't want to do it the wrong way. I want to do it the right way, Jesus. Right? but even before all of that, now we're talking about courting. Courting is when you meet with somebody and you're meeting with the intention to marry. So even in courting, you're already kind of fashioning yourself where you're preparing yourself for a marriage. We skipped friendship. We did this huge long jump. And I feel like if more people took the time to be friends in the beginning, being friends with that person later on through all the ups and downs, through sickness and the health and this and that, and all the things that, all the pit holes and experiences that life brings to us. When you hold on to the fact that this is my friend too. He's my friend. She's my friend. And I love my friend. That's that thing that we see where those people who are together for 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, I think they've grasped that and they understand that. Even people who've been in a relationship for 5 and 10 years, it's like you're sticking through some stuff and you're working through some stuff together because you genuinely have a concern and love for this person. And you have this person's best interest at heart in everything that you do. And you want to see them win. You want to see them prosper. You want to walk with them and, go through the highs and lows because that's what friendship is. Friendship is active. And I think, again, if we spent more time being friends, and I'm not talking about just getting to know somebody because we get tricked up with that. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know you because I want to see if I like you or not, to see if I want to take this to the next level. But if we solely focus on, you as a human being, you as a person, I want to befriend you. I want to walk this life with you as my friend. I think our thoughts about relationships, expectations, and all that stuff wouldn't be as convoluted because at that point, you would know a whole lot more about that person if you were just their friend.
So I got to be a devil's advocate on this one.
I think so, but I think too that many of us have had friends, and those people are no longer our friends, and we're talking outside of marriage. And I think that what even in that, you have to have the same understanding of what friendship is, of what friendship means, and that you have to be willing to be committed to the relationship, whether it be friendship, whether it be whatever it is. You have to be committed to the relationship, that you're willing to work out all of the issues that come up even in regular friendships. Because
Right.
I think most of us have friends that we're no longer friends anymore. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, so that you have to still have that idea of, you still have to have that commitment. Friendship also involves commitment, which I think a lot of people don't really grasp that idea, that if we're really friends, I am committed to your happiness, to your well-being, to working out the relationship and having the conversations that need to take place to maintain this friendship. Because
Right, and that's what I'm talking about. My biggest concern with it is that people jump into romantic relationships straight off the bat.
right,
That's where I'm coming from with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
But some of them do that because of the mere fact that's where they are, or that's how they do things. But like you said, some of them jump in the water not understanding that the water was hot. They didn't test the water first, and then they just went straight in and wonder why did it get scorched, because the water was too hot, or they got in there and it was too cold. They was wondering why they freezing now. Yeah, you got to test it. But even still, some people do test. Some people get in the water. Some people is right. Some people are friends. But then something else happens. Ego, envy, jealousy, and you get married, and that knocks that right out the box. Because me and my ex-husbands, not Ben's, I've only been married once, we were best friends. I got up under the car with him and learned how to change spark plugs and put a motor in and put the cap on. And I was the one, I had the gloves on with my nails.
Oh, bless your heart.
Had my hair tied up. I mean, I was the cutest mechanic ever.
Yes, you were.
I did. I put the hood scoop on.
Oh my gosh.
I was able to check the timer. Like, you could turn the car on. I could tell you, oh, the timer's off. That's why it ain't turned over. Or your spark plug needs to be replaced. Oh yeah, I knew about the car. I could take a car off. I could take a wheel off a car faster than AAA can put the lug nuts back on. That's how good we was. Where he went, I went. Where I went, he went. We was like roll-bud, boom, boom. But then what I didn't know was, when I wasn't with him, what he was doing as my friend. And that came about. So he wasn't really a true friend. I was his friend, but he wasn't my friend. And so sometimes that ends up happening. And so likely we have that conversation with our male friends as well as our female friends. How many female friends have we been there with to the bottom end? But when it came to you, they didn't remember who you was. So that's the devil's advocate. But listen, real quick. So yes, the lines are open. As you see right there at the bottom of the screen, I heard y'all. Y'all told me I better open up the line. So I opened up the line. So y'all better call. Also, if you listening in through the group, yes, your name is not coming up. But there is something that says on the group, when you see the more, click the more. And the more will tell you that it will change your picture over, because it's given our platform the permission to show your face. That's if you're listening in through our chat. So make sure where you see all the wording, y'all just only read the top part, go to the part where it says see more, click see more, and click the link, and it will show who you are speaking. Because one of them people speaking, I know it's my sister, because she said, stop telling my story, LOL. And I knew it was only one person that could have said that, because that was the only person I gave story of. She's the only story I can tell without any of a disclaimer, because it's my story too. So if you want your box to come up to show that you're not just a Facebook user, yes. Click on the see more, and at the bottom it'll say Streamline. Click Streamline, and it'll give you permission to show your picture. So yes, please, 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 if this segment is not for you, it may not be for you. but it may be for somebody else. So please share the live, share the love, because somebody wants to hear and somebody needs to hear what we're saying, because somebody's on this very street not knowing where to turn in this crossroad called life. And they're at this crossroad, and we're here to say, just because you don't see no footprints on that road don't mean that nobody didn't go that way. Maybe the street sweeper came past and just swept away the footprints, or maybe a good wind blew and it blew away the footprint. It doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't the road that was traveled. You just didn't happen to see the footprints. Y'all like that analogy, didn't y'all? I know y'all did. I thought about that real hard. But again, we have oh, see, I told you that was my sister, because only my sister can write stuff like this and get away with it. Bye, girl, and don't have no picture. I know that's you, Reese Hall. I know that's you. And okay, they said also, oh yeah, so they did say absolutely to what you were saying. They also said keep people out of your business. That's major. It was also stated that you have to understand that who you call friend or dating isn't your husband or wife. Yeah, that's a big one, because we giving up husband benefits and wives benefits without the benefit of the ring. Yeah, you wonder why they ain't buy that cow for that milk they've been drinking for free. You wonder why. You wonder why. So Kim said calm. Is it because you meditating on that mosquito? Is that what's going on? Well, while you meditate,
I'm multitasking.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to play this song. So this was the song that's supposed to be the song, and I totally agree. So this is by Dr. Karen Moore and her husband from the group Poetic Soul. So yes, we're talking about the chocolate song, Chocolate Aphrodisiac.
He perked up.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Wait a minute, you ready? Wait.
You're my chocolate aphrodisiac. The way you run your hands across my back. The way you move and cling stimulates the senses and awakens the spirit and gets the juices. You're my chocolate aphrodisiac. Baby, I'll never turn back. You've got the touch. You've got the kiss. You've got the taste. Sweet like chocolate. My chocolate aphrodisiac. Baby, when you come to me, I begin to drown in ecstasy. I float away from my agony. And I am engulfed in your heat and passion for eternity. Aphrodisiac. Definition: stimulates and increases desire.
Come on.
Oh my gosh, you guys are too much for me.
I'm done. Okay, you won that battle. You won that battle. You won that battle. Like,
Look, I got some things. I got some things
battle.
on
Like,
this desk. I got some things. Hey, I got some things up on this desk. Listen,
that's not fair. That's not fair.
hey,
He
I
was
think we need a do-over. We need a do-over. We need a do-over.
no time to think. No time to think.
We need a do-over.
Back for Color Girls was it? For Color Girls.
Oh my God. So
Somebody almost walked off with all my stuff.
I told y'all. Y'all don't wanna hear me. I told y'all. I said y'all don't know who y'all got coming on here. So I hope y'all ready for it because she's gonna tell us how to do what we do as women.
Without any assistance or guidance from you.
Honey, okay. And like you said, guidance from the goddess of poetic soul. You know, the chocolate aphrodisiac. I thought I had a voice. Now you heard the voice. Did you see it coming from her? You ain't see it. That's why I was able to ad-lib it because y'all know I got the voice. See, look.
Oh my gosh.
Look, again, everybody, we have yes, we have Dr. Kim on the line. Hey Gina. Yo, my cousin Gina from Seattle, Washington. Honey, look, I'm just trying
on the line. Listen, speaking into existence as though it were a baby.
What name did I call it? Tell me what name did I give her?
You said Dr. Kim. Dr. Kim is on the line.
Oh yeah, Dr. Kim's on the line too, because you know, you only one book away from beginning your doctorate. Oh, did I tell you that? I sure did.
We have Dr. Karen Moore, who is
we got Dr. Kim.
All her beauty and her blackness and her womanhood and her creativity and I'm sorry, I'm zoned out right now. I'm trying to come back.
But that's what I was trying to tell you. See, when you're comfortable in your skin and you know who you are, you can speak that thing and walk it. Now you know why. After a year later, when she walked across that church pew, his antenna went up and was like, yeah, there she go.
I told him he needed Jesus. I was watching you walk. I said, you need Jesus.
And guess what? After he saw you walk, he probably did call him. He probably was like, Jesus. And Jesus was like, you want that? Because you know you messed up a year ago. And he was like this, you know what? I did, didn't I? And Jesus was like, yeah, you did. He's like, you know how I'm gonna fix that? Jesus was like, you better go ask for the number. He's like, you know what, Jesus? I think you're right. Jesus was like, so why are you still talking to me about it? Your husband is gonna kill me. I know you're listening. Hello, Mr. Robin Williams Sr., Mr. Soul of Poetic Soul. So yes, I had to.
I hear you.
I had to call him out because you know, had I not had the opportunity to meet him, I would not have been blessed to be encountered with her. Yeah. So I thank you. I truly thank you. And you are a powerful team. I told y'all that before. We got things to do. Yes. And yes, Kim, and I'm glad you put that up because I'm letting y'all know right now. Look for it. Keep your eyes on it. We got 2 things coming up. We got Ladies' Night coming. And we're going to take some more details about that. It's going to be the last Tuesday in this month. Yes, it was supposed to be yesterday, but it got so nice. Hopefully, Kim will be able to partake in it. But you know, Kim got some things she got to take care of, so if she's not in school, she will be with us probably, hopefully,
But you said the last Tuesday?
last Tuesday in this month.
Is that
7 o'clock.
in the 20s? That's next week? Is that next?
It's 23rd. No, we got 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks.
Mm,
2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks.
I'm checking. I'll have my people call your people.
Our people will be calling you. Our people will be waiting. So while we're waiting, so y'all told me to open up the lines, but y'all got scared because she was gonna tell y'all the truth. Y'all was scared that y'all name was gonna pop up. What happened? Y'all got scared. What's the problem? Oh, so yeah. Is that what happened, y'all? Y'all can tell me. Is that what happened? But the line is open, so if you guys need to and y'all want to. So let's get back to the power at hand. Women waiting. So in waiting, that means women, we are waiting, but we are not waiting for them. We're waiting for us. Can you clear that up for us, Doc?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I need a few moments of clarity.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna bring it to the screen, y'all. I hope y'all got y'all pad and paper because she about to lock it down for you. You ready? Here we go.
Here we go. So
Okay, wait a minute. Before you do it, let's do this the right way. Y'all ready? So I'm going to prepare y'all to go get your drinks, go get your bottles, go get your pens or your pencils, whatever you need to do to get prepared for this next segment, because the doctor is in and she's about to let go.
yeah, so waiting, I think it's really important that we decide that we want to wait, first of all. It's important to make that decision that I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I'm ready for whatever it is. I'm going to wait until I have completed whatever process that I need to complete. If you are writing a book, decide that you want to do it and that you're going to take the necessary time and everything that's necessary to write that book. You have to make a decision, and you have to have the courage to stick to what it is that you said you want to do and the things that you want to accomplish. So you have to make up in your mind and make that decision that, yes, I am going to wait to be the very best that I can be. I'm going to work on myself, and I'm going to go through the process, whatever that process may be. So if you're deciding that you're going back to school, you want to wait until you are mentally ready to do that. Because if you decide you're going to go back to school and you're not really mentally prepared for that, you're not prepared to study, you're not prepared to put in the work, you're not prepared to spend those late nights, if that's necessary, studying, or late nights writing papers. You have to get in the mindset. You have to change your psychology about what it is you really want to do so that you can really get in position. Being in position is very important. So being in position, that means you may have to wait to do whatever it is that you want to do. But in that meantime, that's the big thing. In the meantime, during that waiting period, you are working on you. You are working on getting your mindset right. You are working on speaking the things that you need to speak to yourself to be that person who's going to be ready to take on whatever it is, whether it's being a wife, whether it's being a CEO, whether it's being an author, whether it's being a student. You're taking that time to prepare yourself to be the very best that you can be and tap into that power within and decide to show up and be present for whatever it is that you really want to do. And you have to have such a resolve that you're not going to let anything or anyone stop you from accomplishing that and being that very best person that you can be while you're waiting.
Well, I got my moments of clarity.
I think I did too. I mean, like,
clarity, confirmation, exclamation points, context, all that stuff. You know,
She gave us the steps. Yes, you got the outline. So let me tell y'all, you can't never say nobody didn't tell you because she told you. Now, you can say, her truth versus my truth is up to you because, you can only take a horse to water. You can't make them drink it. And so with that being said, Kim drinking her water. And the process that I'm running with this is, in order for me to be better for anybody other than me, I have to address me. I have to be comfortable with me. Now I'm gonna say something and y'all gonna be mad. Somebody gonna be mad. I know y'all are, but whatever. I already gave my disclaimer. We were so quick to down Jada for what she got involved with, the entanglement. But what we forgot was she had already said what she learned from that, but we didn't know because it was at the end. And it just so happened that now we're being told what happened to make her say what she said a couple of months ago. And what I'm going to say is this, real quick. And this is the only thing I'm taking from that segment. I'm not speaking on the situation. I'm not addressing the situation. I'm just bringing out a point that was made. And the point that was made was, you are responsible for your own happiness. And that's what she learned during that whole thing, was that she was trying to make somebody else responsible for her own happiness. But once she recognized that she was responsible and nobody else is when she realized, I guess, what she learned. But even if that's not it, and maybe it's still more to that, that's my pen. Because so many times we as women, we were looking for other people to keep us happy, keep us moving. And that's why we needed to be. We had to always connect with that girl or have this person here or always sitting with these people, because it was because of those people that we needed to be. And we couldn't be without them that was helping us to be. But the minute the doors closed, the lights went out, or as my pastor, y'all knew I was going to say it, James Moore Sr., Second Mount Zion Baptist Church would say, when the clothes come off and goes in the closet and you're naked, that's all it is. It's you in your nakedness. So what you need to do is allow people to see you in your nakedness. But the question is, thank you, boo-boo, can you stand to see yourself in your own nakedness? Ooh.
I can now.
I can too.
I went through some stuff and I was like,
Hey.
But then I'm like,
Yes.
Girl, like, you're right. Like, you good. Like, you queening. Like, yeah.
So with queening, I'm glad you said that. With queening, it was posed a question. So we're going to ask the question now. On the sister chat, there was a question, and the question was, which one would you rather have? Would you have rather respect or love? So
that's not an either or.
Okay, so let's break that thing down before we gotta go. Go ahead.
That was the mosquito.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so all right.
I'm gonna have to play that song. It was a little mosquito in a yellow tuxedo, freaking inside that sweet casino.
You can't separate those two. It's not even comprehensible. Like, love is action. Love is, like I was saying earlier, it's when you have that person's best interest in mind. You want to make sure that person is good. You walk and you do life with them. Love. Respect goes hand in hand. Respect is honoring. Respect is committing. Respect is loyalty. Respect is, that's like those two things form this planet that if you try to separate it, you take away the essence of what that planet is, and you take away the elements of each one of those things when you try to separate them.
Right.
I saw that and I was like,
because if you love me, you will respect me.
yes, right.
You want to respect me if you love me.
Exactly.
Yeah, they go hand. I agree. They go hand in hand. There's no separation of love and respect.
And maybe that's sometimes the problem, because people believe that you can have one without the other.
It's like lips with lip gloss.
It's like a left with a right hand. It's your turn, Dr. Karen. It's your turn.
You can't have one without the, well, you can possibly respect somebody you may not necessarily love, but you respect them possibly because of their position, or you might respect. But I mean, if you're talking about a relationship, if you love someone, you will respect them. The two go, I agree, the two go hand in hand. If you can't love somebody and not respect them, not really love them. If you're disrespecting them, then I would certainly question the love. I don't think they can exist. They can exist separately in a relationship, because if you're going to love me, then you love me. When you look at what love really is, and you say that love is, it's patient, it's kind, it's all of those things that Corinthians tells us it is. And if you really are really loving somebody, respect should come with that. It shouldn't be, I love you, but I'm going to disrespect you. I don't even know how you can do that for somebody that you really love. And if you do disrespect, I would think they would call you on it, because sometimes people may not even realize that they're disrespecting, depending upon what it is.
Right.
You may not realize that you consider it disrespect, but then you've got to call it out for what it is. And if they really love you, they will adjust the situation. They will adjust whatever the disrespect was. So but they definitely, I feel, go hand in hand as far as relationships. Again, like I say, I think that you can respect some people maybe based on a title or something that you may not necessarily say that you love. I think I have to think about that some more, though. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me with that. That you can possibly respect somebody you don't love, but, and like I say, it's title wise. If I say, if I respect you because you're, I can't even say the president of the United States. I can't even say that.
Monty.
I can't even say that. But you,
Monty.
right?
The president of my United States ended at number 44.
Hello.
The United States presidency ended at 44. There is no such thing as the United States presidency. I'm sorry.
I got something. It just popped into my head. Oh. So you know how, let's just look at humanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a love for humanity. There are certain things that I am willing to do and to be for the sake of the whole.
Okay.
So in essence, that is a certain degree of love. Because I have that love for humanity, I'm going to respect or honor. Like if somebody walks by me and they trip and fall, I'm going to run to their rescue. I'm going to help them. I'm going to be available. I'm not going to disrespect them in their culture, in their sexuality, in their, belief systems or whatever. I honor that because I have your best interest at heart.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I feel like it is possible. It just, when you start thinking of what does the word love mean and the different types,
right?
Because now we're kind of like on these different planes,
right?
Right. Because you got the I love you, then you got the I'm in love with you. That's totally different. But then you have I'd rather be respected because I don't know you enough to love you. But like Kim said, but because I have a love in general, is why I respect people on that level. So then again, it comes at where you are in the increment of when that question is posed.
Right.
Where are we? What are we talking about when you say, I'd rather be, which one would you rather have? Would you rather be respected or loved in a relationship, at a job, in a position, in this world? Like, what increment are you talking about?
That's okay. So now that you put it in that perspective,
Yeah.
it makes me think of when people say, you may not like me, but you're going to respect me.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I don't know you, and you might not like the things that I do, but I'm going to respect you as a person. I'm going to give you that. That's still a degree of love. I don't care what you say. It's still a degree of love. It's still a degree of love.
I love you enough not to kill you. But anyway.
I'm just saying. I mean, but
agree.
you could feel that way about somebody you're in love with in the moment, depending on what happens. Like, I don't like what you said. You gonna listen. That was disrespectful. I didn't like what you said, how you said it. But like Dr. Karen said, it's like, okay, so once you make them aware of what they've done to offend you, that made you feel disrespected, not honored, then now it's their responsibility, because they're now aware to alter or to fix whatever that thing is.
Right.
If they love you, if they're in love with you, they will do or it would be expected that they would alter their behavior.
Right.
When you say it like that, I do agree that, you say that you don't have to like me, but you have to respect me. Yeah, that is definitely sort of a different way of doing it. I know for myself, I remember when I was working at a job, and the younger people at the job would always call me Miss Karen. So this young guy came up to me and he said, I heard people call you Miss Karen. Do you prefer Miss Karen? And I said, well, for me, on the job, I feel we're all equals. So you could call me Karen on the job. But I told him, I said, if you came home with my son as one of his friends, I would expect you to put a handle on my name. So, what I'm saying, that respect of, I'm not your friend, you're coming home with my children, so you need to put a handle on my name. And I'm very much about that, that kind of respect, that way that if I'm old enough to be your mother, you need to put a handle on my name.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm old school. I'm old school like that. So, and I don't feel that it's necessarily disrespect when someone doesn't do it, but I feel that it is definitely respectful when you do it. So, and you may not know me, like you said, you may not know me, and it's not an issue of love. It's an issue of, I do expect you, however, to respect me, and to, so it depends upon the situation about whether, but I still feel that in a relationship, they go hand in hand.
Yeah. And like one of the people on our platform said that respect comes first and then love, because sometimes in relationships you can lose respect for a person you in love with, and vice versa. And yeah, you can, because you can totally have the almost respect for a person and they can do something and you can totally lose it all, including the love. And I unfortunate that I've known some people where I actually lost respect for them, and there was no more love. There's no more love. But there's no more love.
So I think that's another definition of respect then. Because when we were talking about respect, we were talking about honoring and holding somebody in esteem or regarding humanity.
Well, again, that's about that spectrum.
Right. But so now we're talking about respect, not necessarily in the terms of what respect really means, but you're making a conscious choice to disconnect yourself from that person and not give them your energy or to give them power in your life. I think that's what that means, not necessarily like, I don't respect you. Because then if you do that, you're just as bad as they are.
True. True, I can see that, but I can understand what she mean. Where as it's something that they've done, where they used to stand and hold a high esteem for you, they have respect for you, and they respected you as a person. But you did something so to you just lost everything by like, yo, really, that's you?
But those are different. So we're talking things like trust. We're talking about things like trust is not respect. Trust is something that you earn.
True.
And something that somebody willfully gives you in a moment in time. And then when you do something to kind of alter that, then I can see them not trusting you anymore. I'm not going to give you all of me. I'm going to close myself off from you so that you can't penetrate me the way that I allowed you to. I don't think that's not. I don't think that that's the issue of not respecting them.
So let me show you where respect is in the interim that I'm speaking about. So I used to respect who you were as a person, how you stood, what you stood for, and the things that you stood with. But then you did something that just totally turned away from who you really was and who I believed or thought that you were posing to be. And I just all of a sudden lost all respect for you because of what you did.
All right,
like,
you got me on that one. Donald Trump.
But you know what? I never respected him on any level. I always
just saying,
I always knew it was just something about him. I always had that. Even when I used to see him in cartoons or little sitcoms and stuff, I used to be like, oh yeah, look at that him. I wouldn't even call his name. I had no respect for, him. But again, and somebody's going to say she's lying, but I'm not. I have that heart, but I know when to turn my heart light out and not give energy. But I love everybody with the love of God that's within me. But how I deal with you is on a different surface. So talking about dealing with you, we got to deal with Kim because Kim is a student. And Kim got to say bye-bye. And you know how we get here on the Sister Chat. We could just go on and on and on. And what we talked about today was only just the beginning of the segment. So there's going to be a part 2 to this, right? So
we got to get to colorism. I really want to just jump in with that.
And she will, because she's going to tell us how, if we can't wait for her to come back, how we can tune in to understand about the colorism. So go ahead.
Before you do that, I have a question. The art that is in your background, is that your art?
No, I wish it was.
Okay.
No, I really wish it was. It's a photograph of the Museum of the African Diaspora. Yeah, it's not my art. I wish I was that talented.
Nice.
Wish I was that talented.
Nice.
But you are very talented.
I've been the whole time. So.
But you are very talented because I didn't get the opportunity to tell people who you really are. And this is the pianist, the master pianist.
Oh no! Oh my gosh, no.
Yes, the master pianist. She's also the writer of the music for Poetic Soul. She's a teacher. She's a mentor. She's one that mentors me. She's like you. When you take the paper out to say, and who is Dr. Karen Moore? You go, and then they read. She is, and they turn the scroll, and then they take a deep breath and go, and then but we can learn more about Dr. Karen Moore because she also has a segment called, as we addressed earlier, the color, not color, the color of beautiful. So how can you tell us about the color of beautiful and how we can see her before we can see her again?
This Sunday, I do a Facebook Live on Sundays at 6 p.m. It's called Beautiful Color Conversations. Color spelled COLOUR, because you are beautiful. Beautiful Color Conversations, where we talk about colorism. We have discussions on colorism. I usually have guests come on the show, and we talk about colorism and some of the different issues that we have to deal with colorism. So that's Beautiful Color Conversations at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Facebook Live, Beautiful Color Conversations page. And I Am the Color of Beautiful is the spoken word movement. You can find more information about that at thecolorofbeautiful.com. And we are always talking about colorism and what we have to deal with colorism. There's a lot of attention now being brought to colorism, and many people are starting to speak out more about colorism. And so we are, continually having these conversations and beginning to really implement things to help us to address colorism. We have Wonderfully Made Wednesdays on the Color of Beautiful page, where we post pictures of women of color that are beautiful. And I mean, it means women who are dark skinned as well as light skinned. We post images of women of color on the on the Color of Beautiful Facebook page, Wondrously Made Wednesdays. So, we encourage you to come to the Color of Beautiful page on Facebook and post pictures of the women that have been an influence in your life, the women that you feel are beautiful, because we want to flood the Facebook page with images of all women of color, all of their beauty, because we're all beautiful. Even though we are talking about the issue of darker skinned women not being considered beautiful or worthy, we are still not leaving our light skinned sisters out when it comes to talking about our Wondrously Made Wednesdays, because we are all wondrously made. So the Facebook page, Wondrously Made Wednesdays, on Wednesdays, we post pictures of absolutely beautiful women, all shades, all nationalities, from communities of color, to again flood the page with these images, because we feel like we're not allowing Hollywood anymore to tell us what's beautiful. We are deciding what's beautiful for us as women of color. So you can go to that Facebook page and post your images on Wednesday. It's still Wednesday, right? It's still Wednesday. So you can still go and post your pictures of the incredibly beautiful women in your life. Did I answer your question?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
I was thinking I was having a Donald Trump moment. Did I answer the question?
Oh, I never have.
But you were logical.
So talk about logical. I have a special guest. So y'all all know that the Sister Chat had a segment where we had on with Sapphire. And Sapphire said she had this song called Dance. Y'all remember, right?
Yes.
So we had the pleasure, meaning me and Kim, of being in the video.
Oh my gosh, you're going to play it, I hope.
We're going to play the video, but guess what? The guest is this. I am sitting with the one who created the dance. Guess who I'm sitting with?
Gosh.
Hi, Kim. Hey, lady. Hi.
Yes. I am with Tracy Stilettos.
I know.
Oh,
I said I was going off location. I'll tell you when I get there where I'm going. I have a surprise for you. And you said, a surprise? I said, yeah, I have a surprise for you.
She looks really surprised.
And guess what? I'm with Tracy. Yeah.
nice.
I'm with Tracy.
Nice.
So me and Tracy is getting together because I also created a dance. And my dance was called Love's Groove. It was by the song Makers of Love by Raheem Devon and Boney James.
Ooh.
So since that line dance is out, I came to come dance with Tracy. So y'all can see that video later. But right now, you are going to get the pleasure of seeing the video of him and I being the star appearance of Sister Chat together with our favorite girl, Sapphire, as she dropped her video called Dance. Let's see if you can see her and see if you can find us. Y'all ready? Here we go.
Just tell me what I look like.
Kim looked really surprised.
Hello, how you doing? I hope you're doing fine now. Let's go out and have a groovy time. You see, I'm cooked up in the house and I'm ready to shine now. I wanna put my fancies on and take it down. Let's have some fun all night long, child. I'm gonna party hard until my body shuts way down. I'm really feeling the atmosphere and the ambiance. I slowly walked in the middle of the floor and started to dance. Ooh, to the left and to the right, I'm feeling oh so nice. I twist and then I turn. This tense feeling I so yearn. I just wanna have some fun all night long. Ooh, dancing, just dancing. This place is really popping and I'm feeling good. Moving my body in slow-mo like I should. DJ's playing all my songs. I'm gonna shake my thing all night long. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was in my own world. I was moving and grooving to the music, my body swirled. I know how to have some fun, even if I'm the only one. 'Cause I just wanna have some fun all night long. You're dancing, just shaking my body. Party, sipping my Bacardi. This night was so meant to be. Dance, dance, I just wanna dance. 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 The DJ's playing all my songs. I'm gonna shake my thing all night long. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was in my world. I was moving and grooving to the music. My body swirled. Yeah, I know if I'm the only one. This night was so meant to be. I just wanna dance. 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 I just wanna dance.
And that's her dancing. So that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. So what y'all think?
I just want to dance. I just want to dance.
Kim,
I just want to dance.
you have an additional talent.
Twist and turn, move my body, girl.
I didn't know, Kim. I didn't
Listen,
You can
I've been
sing.
up since wee hour in the morning, doing homework, taking Zoom classes, all that stuff. So I'm like, so you get the silly side of me.
I
But
get
yeah,
it.
That's awesome. Yay.
Yes, very nice, very nice.
So yes, that was it, y'all. That's how we do what we do when we do what we do.
Yeah.
And that's called Sisters Coming Together, networking. Tracy
Yeah.
actually created the line dance for dance.
Thank you. Yes.
And me and Kim, we learned it in
Yes, they did.
hot seconds of seconds.
And y'all did me proud. Y'all did me proud.
We was
You guys
like,
looked really good.
we was like, wait a minute, that wasn't a deal. We were
You-
supposed to be in our own boxes doing our dances, doing our own thing. What this is?
I'm like background atmosphere.
And Kim was able to bring her props to bring the magic of the nightclub. And did
Oh,
y'all see the DJ?
That's your son.
No, the bartender was my son.
Oh, okay.
The bartender was
Oh,
my
it's,
son, and the bouncer was my son.
Oh, okay.
But the DJ was Sapphire's
Mother,
own mom.
her mother.
Wasn't she
Yeah.
the best DJ ever? She was like, go, 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 go.
Wow,
We love her.
Yes,
We love
yes.
our sisters' moms.
that's
So
awesome.
with that being said, Kim said she has been up all day, and we got to let her get back to her studies,
Yes.
and so that she can come on here and write this book, so that she can go here to become Dr. Kim, or I'm sorry, Dr. Ontaria Kim Wilson.
Yes.
Yay.
Girl.
You've been in school for quite some time here, aren't you?
Yeah, and again,
Honorary. I'll take an honorary.
no, she's gonna get that doctorate. Watch, she's gonna get it. She's gonna get it because she got so much going on. If y'all have any idea who Kim really is, I don't even think Kim gets the accolades and the support of really who she is. And I'm just honored to say that she calls me friend.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
even more honored that she calls me sister. All right, that's enough with the mushy stuff.
But if you'd like to find out more, you can always go to my website, www.ontariowilsonllc.com. God bless you.
Awesome.
You're so silly.
Yeah.
With that being said, I guess we're gonna go ahead because me and Tracy got work to do. And stay tuned.
Y'all be up to no good.
You know,
When have you
you
known
look so
me?
surprised.
When have you known me not to pop up with a surprise every now and then?
Every day.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Oh, yeah.
But yes,
Oh,
Dr.
yeah.
Karen Moore, you know how much love I got for you. I do gang size kind of love for you. You already know that.
Thank you so much. You know I love y'all. Love my sisters.
Yeah, how you doing? How you doing? And look forward to also listen out because me and Kim going to be sending out our flyer very soon for our flash mob jam.
Okay.
And Guess who's gonna help us? And guess who's gonna help us? And guess who's gonna help us?
Poetic soul, right?
Karen? Are you going to me?
Dr. Karen, Dr. Karen.
Dr. Karen.
Yes,
Dr.
Dr. Karen's gonna help us.
Soul, Lord.
I like the way we sign people up for stuff, Kim, and they just do it. Look at she is so happy. She don't know what to do with herself.
No, I love you guys. I gotta go.
Okay.
Mwah.
Bye. Love you
Kisses.
back. Love you back. Sis.
So with that being said, y'all already know where we gonna go with this, right? Y'all already know. Y'all know where we're going with this. That's if the computer goes with us. Why is it that it never wants us to leave? It never wants us to leave. It never wants us to leave.
Really?
And it never wants us to leave. It's like every time it's
You're
time for
good
us to
until you get to
leave,
that point, right?
it never wants us to leave, and it don't want us to end the show because it won't let us play our ending. And it knows that we have to end the show with our song. We can't just not end it because we gotta let the people know, right?
Right.
So I don't even know why be playing with me. So there we go. Now
Okay.
we can let everybody know. If you didn't know before the show came on, now you're gonna know because Dr. Karen Moore told you, and we also told you. Because guess what?
Information is free. Read it, write it, count it, makes a difference for me. It's all around, everywhere. Open your eyes so you can see. Can you make it? Can you make it? Can you make it?
You know what? I guess I can too.
Yeah,
You can make it.
right?
Oh, can you make it? Can you make it?
Guess what?
There's nothing in this world that can keep you from your purpose. No, nothing. What you set your mind to do.
Your mind to do.
Availability is within your reach and strength. No one to blame for your excuse.
No one to blame but you. So on that note, good night, my lovelies.
Good night.
Good night, my sisters.
Good night, Dr. Karen.
Good night. Bless you.